Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my humble home, my humble casa, my hacienda on the windy hills of Livingston, Montana. Okay, today, for this day right here, by the way, it's the 17th of February of 2022. I'd like to talk about social media for just a minute or two. I promise I'll try to keep this short. I'm always worried about time on these videos because I know big, long-winded videos. Sometimes people don't watch those. But then again, I'm a small channel. A lot of people don't watch my stuff anyway, but whatever here. But social media, yeah, that's social media has been on my hit list, so to speak, or my raised eyebrow list for quite a few years. Now, I'm not going to get specific and start naming off this platform and that platform and all that because I don't particularly want I've cleaned up my channel here. I don't have any strikes whatsoever against me or community strikes or anything like that or copyright, and I plan on trying to keep it that way. I definitely don't want any community strikes, so I don't want to be bad mouthing people, and all that. But you folks out there in cyberspace know what I'm talking about, when I'm talking about social media. The big T, the big FB, the big Insta, whatever. And it just goes on and on like that. The problem here is years ago, I was involved. Now, I'm just going to tell you guys flat right out the way it is with me. I was involved with FB, for a while there. But I had a couple people on my so-called friends list or so-called contact list or whatever have you that kept threatening suicide. Now, as a Vietnam veteran, as a guy that made it through a war and everything, how do you think that made me feel? I mean, a lot of times I just like to reach out, like everybody's saying in this day and age, reach out and give them a little, give them a little fanning right up the kisser. You understand what I mean? Talking that nonsense. I realize that suicide is a serious thing and everything like that, but good grief almighty, man. A lot of people, they jump up in the morning. What's one of the first things they do? They check their social media accounts. Well, that's the last thing in the world I want to do is be sitting there like this, reading about somebody that's wanted to commit suicide. You know, this list of what I find wrong with social media is long, and I don't even think I can really name it all off. But one thing I do know, when I used to be with FB or whatever have you, I'd spend a couple hours, trying to dream up content or answering private messages to myself or looking at the main news feed, how that goes, the main feed and all that. And I'm sitting here to tell you that what was happening to me is every time I'd shut my computer off or go do something else, I'd always have this heavy weight, a burden. I always felt burdened. You know what I'm trying to tell you? I always felt depressed and all that. And it wasn't depression. I'm talking about mental depression. And it finally dawned on me that I was just sucking in too much negative because, and it was bringing me down, basically, what I'm saying. Now, I know a lot of people are hung up on social media, but personally, myself, I think you can get too much of that stuff. Making, responding to comments, trying to string your whole family's history on some kind of platform, pictures galore, taking all kinds of pictures. I personally think that trying to keep up with the Joneses or outsmart somebody or out talk somebody or out reply to somebody when it comes to social media, I think this kind of behavior is dangerous. In fact, I don't think I know. It's not going to make you a better person. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of people are putting a front up that really doesn't exist in their real lives. And I personally think that people can share too much of themselves. I know there's been times here on YouTube where I've had a couple of weeks go by. I just couldn't get my crap together and I just couldn't pull off a movie file because I didn't have anything to say. You know, I'll tell you honestly, ladies and gentlemen, sitting down here in front of this camera right here, this little guy right there, isn't exactly the easiest thing in the world to do, especially when you're doing this one-on-one, me with the camera and the audience in back of it all and all that. It's really not, I have a little bit more luck doing outside stuff where I'm busy doing whatever, doing and I think people, when it comes to my channel, I think they'd rather me be doing, photographing Montana and around this Livingston area and recording stuff like that. But I have done a lot of it, believe you me. So my point being, when it comes to social media, because I've had some bad experiences, but probably the worst experience I ever had was being a live broadcaster years ago. I used to do live internet broadcasting. Believe you me, man, you want to talk about haters and trollers, I done seen it all in my day. But these things I'm telling you, you don't have to do any of this stuff. If you want to get all tied up with social media, that's fine. That's your business. But I just know for me that spreading myself too thick across the plains of the internet is not healthy. I can't dream up that much nonsense. That's supposed to be funny, by the way. And where am I at here? Okay, I always got to watch the time here. I'm coming up on 7 minutes or so because I try my best to keep these videos short if I can. But anyway, point being, there's a lot of fake people that use social media, a lot of fake accounts. I realize a lot of these platforms have doubled down, so to speak, on their security and trying to get rid of all this kind of nonsense and like that. But with me, I figure I'm on a camera right now. How much more exposure does a guy need when you get right down to it? You know what I'm saying? YouTube is the only social platform that I have, and it's the only social platform that I really need until they kick me off of here, which I'm trying to do everything I can not to get kicked off and all, like that. So that's my whole thing. I've just had some bad experiences socially wise on the internet and like that. And the way things are flowing for me here on YouTube, it's been good enough for me. It's been a good enough environment for me to hang around here for the last, 7, 8 years, 6, 7 years, something like that. That's how long I've been on YouTube. So I just thought I'd throw this in. I just plain and simple don't like a lot of these different platforms. The only one I use is YouTube here. I'm sure I've made that perfectly clear. The rest of these platforms, there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's enough here. If you want to subscribe to my channel, just go ahead and do so. I'd appreciate it. But if you don't want to, I totally understand how that goes. You can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's up to you, or a finger. I'm just kidding about that. Just do the up down thing. Whatever. Sign up for the program. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take care of yourselves. We'll see you on down the trail, and adios, my friends.